everyone, welcome to the channel and welcome to Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort. This is a resort along the Skyliner route, which means it's in a great location. It's also in the moderate category, so the price range is pretty middle of the road. Of course, we'll talk so much more about this resort over the next few weeks. We have a lot that we want to share with you about this resort, so make sure you subscribe so you don't miss any of it. But today we're going to focus on taking a look at this room. Now, this room is located in the Aruba section of the resort. It's on the second floor of building 55. The room number is 5540. Now, before I turn you around and we take a good look, I do want to be clear that there are renovations happening at this resort right now. They are updating some rooms. I don't believe that this is one of them. It does have a lot of features that seem a little bit outdated, but we're still going to take some time to look at the room anyway, give you an idea of what to expect if you're going to be staying here anytime soon, or if you happen to find yourself in a room that hasn't been updated. So let's turn you around and take a look. Now, the first thing you'll notice when you step into this room is that it doesn't have some of those features that we've been seeing in the newly renovated room. So it doesn't have a Murphy bed. There are some other features that it doesn't have. We will point them out as we go. But that doesn't mean that this isn't a great room, and I'm not going to take any points off for that. These rooms, the resorts, everything here at Walt Disney World is ever evolving. And I'll tell you from experience, just because you don't have the most up-to-date room doesn't mean you don't have a great room. Anyway, let's swing this direction right inside the door. If I take a step back, you'll see I have the windows closed right now, but there are two windows. We are on a corner, so we have a lot of natural light that we can let into this room. We also have this old school looking air conditioning unit. Now, to their credit, there is a cover on this and it makes it look well themed for the room, and it's keeping the room cool, so I don't have anything to complain about. It's a little loud. I don't know if you can hear. It does make some noise, a little bit of rattling, but it keeps things cool, and that's what matters. So next, if we turn this way, you'll see a table and two chairs. Again, the theming is great in this resort, and I have to say, I'm hoping that when they renovate and they update these rooms, they keep some of the charm. Got that pineapple there on the table, and it's a good sized table as well. There are also these chairs. Let me see if I can pull one out for you and you can see how big it is. I love how big these chairs are. And you know, I'm happy to see that, because not only is a chair like this more size inclusive, but it's also just more comfortable. You have more freedom with how you can move, and I really appreciate that when it comes to furniture, especially when resorts are trying to do like fancy furniture. Sometimes it can be like really restrictive and you can only sit in like one way. I don't really care for that. These chairs I do like. There are two of the chairs here at this table, but there is a bench that I think we might be able to move over to this table for additional seating. We'll check that out here in a second. Now, even from my seat here at this table, you can see there is a lot of space over here on this side of the bed. This is fantastic for a few different reasons. Now, we always talk about having enough space to get in and out of bed. This definitely provides that. It also provides a space where you could park a stroller, a wheelchair, an ECV. The downside is that there is no outlet over here, so you wouldn't be able to charge your ECV over here, but we'll keep an eye out for other places that we might be able to charge it elsewhere in the room as we move through. In this corner, we also have a place to hang our bags, put our magic bands and whatnot. A little dusty up there, I have to say. Would be nice if that was dusted, but you know, it happens. Anyway, let's keep turning this direction and we will take a look over here. Now, there is an outlet that we were looking at. I don't really have a place to park an ECV over here, but if you were going to move things a little bit, you could pull it off. Here we have a rather large dresser. There are 6 drawers. There's a center cabinet. Let's take a look at what we got here. So I do like the pattern. Start there. And we do have these drawers, nice and quiet to open, which is nice. Nice and deep too, so that is great. Of course, there are 6 of them, plenty of places to tuck things away. Then we have this center cabinet, which is where we find our beverage cooler. Now, this is not a full-size refrigerator. It is, in fact, a beverage cooler. And it's important to note down at the bottom here, it says beverage cooler cools to 41 degrees and above. Please contact front desk for assistance. That's something you might want to take note of if you're planning on storing medication or other specific types of food in here. I was not a huge fan of the beverage cooler at our last resort because I just didn't feel like it was big enough, but personal preference. What I do know is that it will keep your drinks cool, and that is a great thing to have here, especially in the summertime. So here's a better look at that dresser. You can see it is big. Now this dresser in particular, the shape of this one, does have these edges right here that, I don't know, I feel like I need to point out. I feel like it's something that if you have a lot of people in this room, you could easily bump into. That might be a problem, but I don't know. I feel like there's plenty of room in this room to move around, so it's not that much of an issue. Anyway, we do have our television up there, very large television. And then over here we have our coffee maker, as well as some coffee, some tea, ice bucket, water cups, and our coffee cups as well. Now, I did notice that we have the ability to plug in right here at the top of this dresser. So we have plenty of places to plug in all of our electronic devices. There's also another set of plugs over there on the other side of the dresser as well. So there's lots of space to plug in the stuff that we need to plug in, Magic Band Plus, cameras, phones. There's also plenty of space up here to put it. So there's really no lack of space over here, which I do think is a good thing. Now if we turn this way to the end of the wall, we'll see this nice framed art, which I do think is lovely. And then we have another bench right here. This is a great place where you can get your shoes on, you can do all of that good stuff. And let's see, does it move? It does. So we can easily move this bench over here to the table and seat at very least 4, probably more if you have little ones with you. You know, this is a little detail. It might even be a silly detail having a bench like this, but I think that this is a great thing to have in a room. It's another place to sit, which is great. I also really like that it's another place to get yourself situated while sitting. You know, you can put your shoes on without having to bend down or sit on the floor. I like that. So, great little thing to have in the room. Doesn't take up too much space, but is really useful. Next, let's take a look at these beds. As you can see, this room has 2 beds. They are queen size beds. Now, if you've watched some of our past room reviews, you may have picked up on a detail that we really like in the newly renovated rooms that isn't here in this current room, and that is space under the bed for storage. Now these beds are on a platform, and then there is the box spring and then the mattress. And unfortunately what that means is that there's no storage under the bed. Now for me, this isn't necessarily a deal breaker. However, I do like that characteristic of the newly renovated rooms because it makes the rooms feel a little bit bigger than they are. Unfortunately in this room, because we don't have that storage under the bed, we're gonna have to think about where we're gonna put more bulky things that we don't need day to day, like our luggage, for example. Now, if you are a smaller group, there are places to tuck luggage away. And as we look through the room, you'll see that there are plenty of places to tuck luggage away, but it would be nice to have that space that's really out of the way to put the luggage. That's just my opinion. Let me know your thoughts in the comments though. Is this the type of thing that like makes or breaks a room for you? Tell me about it. Beyond that, there's not much to say about these beds. They're pretty standard. They have the standard linens that we see everywhere else at Walt Disney World. I don't really care for the box spring situation that's going on here. Anyways, we have both beds here. I do want to make note of the space. We looked and saw how much space is available on this side of the bed to get in and out. There's also, in my opinion, a pretty adequate amount of space between the 2 beds to get in and out. On this side of the bed, it gets a little bit tight. You know, it's not something I think is ideal. I'm trying to show a little bit better how this is. I can't actually even walk in here like this. So, I don't know. Not a fan. Although there is a plug over here, so that's nice. But no nightstand on this side of the bed. In fact, there isn't a nightstand on the other side of the other bed either, so only one nightstand in between, which isn't that big of a deal. I guess it depends on personal preference. Speaking of nightstand, it looks like it's pretty standard. We do have some outlets right there. We have our phone, and of course we have our drawer here. There's also a space down here to tuck a few things away. Not too much extra space, but enough. Now, while we've seen much better configurations in rooms like this that still sleep the same number of people, I will say it's still spacious. It still seems comfortable enough. Let's not forget, this is that moderate category. So we're getting a little bit more space, a little bit more in terms of what the resort itself offers, but not necessarily the same amount of space that you get from a deluxe or the same amount of luxury that you get from a deluxe. So just something to make note of, especially when you're making your decisions. Also, ceiling fan in this room, which is fantastic. Love ceiling fans. It's keeping the air moving, and honestly, if you have concerns about the air conditioner and that only being like in one side of the room, you really don't have to worry about it because the ceiling fan keeps the air moving and it's keeping everything very cool. So the next stop is the bathroom, but before we go over there, I do want to note that over here we have our thermostat. Pretty simple. It's the same as we've noticed pretty much anywhere else on property, and it works just like you would expect a thermostat to work. Even though, again, even though that's an old looking AC unit, it's not just like high, medium, low. It gives you a temperature. You can set that temperature and it's good. So no concerns there. I know that that's something a lot of people are probably going to be concerned about. Nothing to worry about. Next we have our bathroom area. And as you'll notice, just like some other rooms that we've taken a look at, this is going to be at the back of the room. It's pretty standard to have this type of setup in a room here at Walt Disney World, or honestly pretty much anywhere else. This is divided from the rest of the room with sliding doors. They're barn door style sliding doors. They do open all the way up. Although there are no, like there are bumpers as you just saw, but it's not quiet. So that might cause a bit of a problem when it comes to just how loud this room is. We'll see though. In here we have the two rooms, right? So like we always see these two rooms. One is like a closet slash vanity get ready room, and then the other is the actual bathroom. So let's take a look at this room first. It's big, it's spacious, and that's fantastic. It allows us to be able to shut these doors and change in here without feeling too tight. This is especially important when the bathrooms are small, which, a little bit of a spoiler alert, this one is. So if we have family, we're staying with friends, and we want to, you know, not get dressed directly in front of them, we have the ability to slide these doors shut, and it's not going to make the room very, very small and hard to function in. I will say, because this is a barn door, there are gaps here, but you can't really see what's happening. It's still a pretty good divider. And again, since those doors are now closed, you can kind of do a little bit of a circle. There's plenty of room in here. I don't feel tight at all. But let's take a better look at what's available in here. So we do have our extra pillow and blanket. We have some hangers and a shelf, so you can put more clothes there, you can put luggage there, extra stuff, extra toiletries, whatnot. We do have a safe right here. This is with a digital lock, keypad lock, so that's fantastic. Now, I've had some people asking about this type of safe in previous videos. We're gonna do a video where we talk about this and how to set it up and what you need to know, so keep an eye out for that. But the long and short of it is you can set these safes right with this keypad. You don't have to worry about carrying a key around, and that's great. That said, not all safes in Walt Disney World are like this, so some of them still have a key. And I find that so annoying because if you lose the key, then you no longer have access to your stuff, at least not right away. But on top of that, you're gonna have to pay to get it replaced, and you know, it's more complicated. So this is much easier. I do prefer it. Of course, we have our iron and ironing board, and there is a trash can over here as well as recycling, and plenty of space over here. We talked a little bit about where to put luggage. Plenty of space to put luggage right in here, tuck it away. Not anything you really have to worry about too much. Here we have our big mirror with our nice light. I do like the lights and the fixtures in this room. They're really nice. And of course we have two sinks. This is a great feature. Lets two people get ready at the same time. Love it. Also a fair amount of space to be able to lay out your toiletries and everything that you need to get yourself ready. You do have some H2O products here. I haven't seen lotion in a long time, so that's kind of nice. And another one of these makeup mirrors, which again seems to be all right. Hi. We've seen other mirrors in the past kind of hanging on for dear life. This one seems to be in good shape. Down here at the bottom, there is room for you to put a few things, just kind of maybe tuck away your makeup kit. We do have another outlet back there. There's also extra towels, toilet paper, tissues, and a hair dryer in here. I do like that it is an actual hair dryer, not a wall-mounted one. Those, I'm not a huge fan. Now over here we have the last part of the room, our bathroom. It does have a full-length mirror on the door, so that is nice. Get yourself ready, really see what your fit looks like before you head out for the day. And then, of course, as we step in, it is definitely not big. It is very small. So we do have our towel rack there. We have our toilet as well as trash. And then over here we have a shower curtain and just an older shower head. Nothing to write home about, you know. Pretty standard stuff. There is a tub in here, not too deep, so it would be good for giving baths. Also, there's a little ledge over here, which I do think is nice. A little place that you can set some things or even sit, or you know, you need to prop your leg up somewhere so you can shave your legs. And of course we have our wall-mounted H2O products. We also have a clothesline here in this room. A lot of the rooms do have this. It's a great way to kind of dry off your bathing suits and whatever, get ready for the rest of the day. And then behind the door, if we close this door, we have a towel rack over here and 3 towel hooks. I should say towel hook. It's not a rack, it's a hook. And then 3 here behind the door. This bathroom is small, no way around it, but it doesn't feel as bad as I thought it was gonna feel once I closed the door. It's tight, but not too tight. I think the thing that makes this bathroom feel small is not only is the ceiling really low, but it also has this shower rack up here that is arched out, which is great when you're taking a shower because it makes the shower feel bigger. When it's closed, when you're in the room, this room feels like super tight, but if you keep it open, not so bad. Anyway, just my personal opinion there. Of course, we have like the motion sensor fan thing in here, so it's a little bit loud, you know, but does the job, keeps everything dry and cool, so that's great. So here we have one last look at this room. There's not too much more to say about it. I think we've pretty much looked at everything in this room as we've kind of wandered our way through. We'll just take one last look as we kind of spin around. Now, once again, rooms here at Disney's Caribbean Beach Resort are being updated as we speak. In fact, there's like a whole section that's currently closed off because they're being updated. I am not entirely sure what those rooms are going to look like, but if you are interested, let us know in the comments. Should we book a newly renovated room here in the future? Tell me your thoughts in the comments down below, and tell me your thoughts about this room. Would you stay here? What are some of the things you liked? What are some of the things you didn't like? Also, if you liked this video, please go ahead and tell us by hitting that thumbs up button and subscribe if you haven't already. We have a lot of videos about this resort on the way. We have a lot of videos about other resorts, both on Walt Disney World property as well as out in town, so you don't want to miss it. Make sure you subscribe so you don't. But that's all for now. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.